How's it going, everyone? This is MOS Tricks, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to have actual perfect defense. This is definitely going to be a more advanced guide, but we're going to try our best to keep things simple, and I promise by the end of this, you're going to be a god at defense. So the first thing we have to understand is, what does it mean for it to actually be our turn? Simply put, if someone is doing a 5-hit combo, during the first 4 hits, it is not our turn. But after the 5-hit finisher, it is our turn. This 5th hit on block means that they are unsafe. And for the FGC guys, you know this as negative on block. So this would be a very simple punish, and if you see this 5th hit on block, this means you have the right to retaliate with your own attacks. But as we know, it's not always that simple. What happens if they charge an attack? Now that 5th hit that we thought was unsafe is actually landing, so what do we do now? Well, you might be thinking to yourself, well then why don't we just block it instead? And you can, but it has to be a special type of block, otherwise you get guard broken. Your opponent has the ability to do highs, lows, and mids, and if you're fast enough on reaction, you can actually tilt your guard and then get a guard break on them. And that is true, you can guard appropriately, then give yourself an opportunity to get a punish, and depending on how good your combo game is, you could get a lot of damage as well. However, if you happen to panic or guess wrong, then you could also get punished even harder. And also, if you happen to get a guard break, some things don't even work. For example, you can't get a grab after a guard break. And sometimes if you try and go for a grab, you might get a grab clash such as this, then still get punished. And going for a special is incredibly fake. This will never work. So yes, guard breaks are an option, but there's something that we can do that's much better, much safer, and also much more consistent. Now, this is where the guide actually gets very advanced. I'm not going to be showing you guys Sonic Sway and say it's mind-blowing tech. And trust me, I know there are a lot of guides out there that are not putting you guys on game, and I'm not interested in wasting your time. So we're gonna get right into it, and I need you guys to pay attention. What I'm about to show you guys is something I've actually never seen on YouTube. So for now, we're going to be referring to this tech as the perception window. Once you understand this, this will guaranteed instantly make your defense 10 times better. If you are getting hit on block, you are essentially in block stun, which means you can let go of block and you will still block the remaining hits. We also know as well that if you press perception while being hit on block, you can Sonic Sway. However, the timing is very specific, and if you press perception too late, it won't work. To get Sonic Sway, you need to press block and then immediately press perception in rapid succession. First you need to block, and then within 2 hits you have to press perception. And if you listen closely, it should sound like this. And we're gonna play it again even slower so you see it and hear it. Now pay attention to the buttons. It's not block and perception at the same time, it's block and then perception right after. As soon as you hear the first hit, you press perception. And if done correctly, you will get Sonic Sway. So you might be thinking to yourself, I press block, and then I press perception, and then I get Sonic Sway. That's cool, but I already knew that. But like I had mentioned, I'm not here to waste your time. I'm here to give you guys perfect defense. If you're holding block and you press perception too late, you will not get Sonic Sway or a counter. As a matter of fact, if you're holding block and you press perception too late and you hold it throughout an entire string, you will actually get hit. And if you mash perception as an afterthought, it could work or it could not work. But notice here, if you are not holding perception on a 5-string hit, you will not get hit. And this is why it feels so inconsistent. You'll say to yourself, I'm literally blocking, why am I getting hit? And the reason why is because you held perception outside of the perception window. If you try to perform a Sonic Sway, but you are late on your timing, you are now inside the perception window. And if you find yourself inside the perception window and let go of perception, you will not get hit. Notice in this example that I am blocking and I press perception after the first 2 hits. But I also have time to react to the fact that I didn't get Sonic Sway, in which case I can let go of circle and continue to block instead of getting hit. And it doesn't matter if you're holding block or not. If you're holding perception, you will not get perception. So essentially the perception window is between hits 3 and 5. It sounds very quick, but it is reactable, especially since you will know if you didn't get Sonic Sway. So in order to consistently get Sonic Sway, you want to press block, then immediately press perception. Do not mash it like this. And if done correctly, it should work every single time. And if you miss the window, you now know how to protect yourself as well. So what makes this so powerful is that if they quickly go for their 5th hit, you are safe. And if they charge an attack, it doesn't matter if they go low, mid, or high. You can react with perception and still be safe. So now at this point, you should understand what the perception window is. But I also want to clarify something. You do not want to deliberately put yourself in the perception window. The whole point of this video is understanding why you are getting hit when you think you should be defending yourself. Ideally, you do want to land Sonic Sway, or in some cases you might even want to vanish for a mix-up. And of course, you always have Super Counter and Revenge Counter, but the point of this video is for you guys to be able to say to yourself, now I know why I keep on getting hit, but even better than that, I know how to prevent it. And lastly, I'll also say that I tried to actually put myself in the perception window on purpose against a slow character, but I was actually able to use perception almost every single time, which of course is a good thing. But this is mostly going to apply to fast characters. So quickly, just to recap, because I know that was a lot. When defending yourself, you first want to block and then press perception and try to get that perception to land within the first 2 hits to get a Sonic Sway. If you miss Sonic Sway, you are now in the perception window, which means you have to let go of perception. If they go for a 5-hit chain, then you'll be pushed away and you can punish them. But if they charge something, you can react with perception and counter. And just before we go, for anyone that doesn't know, I am someone who's been an esports coach for the last 5 years. I've coached both fighting games and shooting games. And my goal with this channel is to try and make you guys as good as humanly possible at Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, and as always, have a good day.